Hey guys, it's Kate from Fitness, Family, and Food, and I just got home from the hospital with Grandma. She's fine. She just had lots of tests that needed to be run today so they can find out what's going on with her leg, but it was a very long day. We were there since 6:30 this morning until just now. So I wanted to jump on real quick and go over one more quick tip. Um, and talk briefly about the follow through. Have you ever started a program and you were all excited and like hyped up, I'm going to do this, or maybe a new project that you were going to get started on, and then you get started and you're all gung-ho, and then you start to lose some interest and you start to not want to do it anymore, and it's a struggle to keep going, and then often you give it up. Have you had that happen? I know I have. You can look in some of my craft things and find out very quickly what I haven't finished but started. But what I think about when I think about this is at work, I don't do that. If I'm making something for someone, I don't give up. Even if I come across a stumbling block or there's something that is a struggle for me, I keep right on going. I problem solve, I push through it, I figure it out, I get a different way to do it. But sometimes when it's just for me, I tend to not want to put forth that effort. And so that is really the one thing that I want to talk about today. And I do have a solution with a bullet journal. I don't know if you've ever heard of a bullet journal. It's a little bit different than the other two that I have showed you. And I want to show you that today and talk to you a little bit about how that can help you not give up. So I'm going to get this camera turned around. See here. I did get it started so that I can show you a couple things. This, I think, is really a great place to start for thinking about personal goals. It really is one of those easy things. This can be a bullet journal. This is just a little 5-star notebook that I grabbed out of the drawer just so that I could give you an idea of what this is and how it works. And it really doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to get a special journal or anything. And basically, it is all what you put into it. So this is some quick and easy ways for you to begin to set some personal goals. Now, when you're thinking about what you're doing for yourself and what you're doing for others at work, you really have to consider, why do we work harder for others than we do for ourselves sometimes? We set an intention and then we don't always follow through. So I have 3 ways to help you stick with your intention, and I want to show you how this bullet journal can help you. The first thing that you really want to think about when you are working for a new intention, a new goal, is you have to really decide if it's really what you want to do. Is it the newest, shiniest object out there? Do you think that, something everyone's doing, so you're going to do? Is it, something your friend wants to do? Like you're going to start a new exercise program because your friend's doing it? But is it really because you want to, or because your friend talked you into it? Is it something that someone said you should do, or is it something that you want to do? That's the first thing you have to do, because honestly, you gotta get a little honest with yourself, and you have to find out what is making you motivated to take care of this. Is it something that is something you truly want to do, or is it something you think you should be doing? once you decide that it's definitely something you want to do, then you got to get rid of the fear. Oftentimes, it's one of those things that I want to try exercising, but I think I might look silly. Or I wish that I could, go out there and go kayaking, but what if I tip over? I mean, honestly, that was something I thought about. It was, something that I had to really work through. And I'll be honest with you, the very first time I sat in that kayak, I thought for sure I was going to tip over. It was a fear because I just didn't want to fall in that cold, cold lake, and I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in myself. But I had to get myself into action, even though I was a little bit afraid. Otherwise, you know what? I wouldn't have gone forward, and I wouldn't have done it. And then the last thing is I had to make sure that I scheduled it. I had to figure out when I was going to go, and I made that it was a priority, and I made sure that I actually got it into my schedule so that I would definitely not skip out on it. I made time for it because it was important to me. And if you don't make time for it, then you're not going to be able to take action. Now, all right, I got the bullet journal started. So the one thing that you really need to do is you need to take a look at what you are currently doing. Now, a bullet journal is just this. This is what a bullet journal is. I'm going to show you right there. That's it. It's a blank piece of paper. And it can be any size journal. It could just be paper if you wanted to. Just staple some paper together. You don't have to even put anything into it. You are never ever limited by what you can put in your bullet journal. It is no pre-printed, I have to fill this in and it doesn't really fit me. And that's really what's nice about it. What I like, especially when you're first starting out with something, is that it's a great way to see what your daily habits are. Putting together a habit tracker like this, where you just put the days going across the top, you put what habit you want to do, and then when you actually do them, so let's say I go through, so I exercised on the 1st, I didn't do it on the 2nd, but I did the 3rd, I did the 4th, I did the 5th. I just go through and I mark it. So when I get to the end of the month or the end of my time that I'm working on, I can quickly go in and see what I am doing. It's also a great way to just start every morning with an affirmation. These are some that I always try to keep in mind for myself. I'm an older person who can be a stick in the mud. I like things to go the way that I'm used to. So I need to be open to change, because without change I can't grow. Move beyond barriers to possibilities. That's another one I tell myself all the time. So you can write in affirmations that you are working on. The other thing too is you can just put a very quick list together to do, all right? And then you can put one down here that you can put future tasks. You can just do another one that is daily, and then you can list them. So you just list whatever you want, and usually there's a key. So you can do like, this is, I need to still do it, this is done, this is safe for next week, never do again, I don't know, whatever it is. So you make yourself a key and you can keep track of that. And what's nice about it is you can go back at the end of the month and look at your daily habits. Are your daily habits, these things that you are doing right here, are they helping or hindering your intentions? What is your goal that you're working on? If you're working on losing a few pounds and you've only exercised 4 times this month, then are you really working towards that that intention? Did you set that and then never do it? One thing that really, really affects a lot of people is that you think you're going to do something and you make that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to lose 5 pounds this month, or I'm going to learn a new craft, or I'm going to learn a new hobby and figure out how to do it and start doing it. And then you don't take the action to actually get it done. You gotta act. Once you decide, you have to act. And this will tell you in pretty colors whether or not you are actually acting. Acting on your intention. That's what's important. And honestly, at the end, they call it in for bullet journals, they call it migration. And basically, it's the cornerstone of what a bullet journal is, where you look at what you've done on a monthly basis, or even yearly or 6 months, and you go back through and you migrate tasks that you didn't complete into your next month's log so that you can actually work on getting them, or decide, cross off ones that you're like, I don't know even why I wanted to do that. That's not going to fit my goals. So that's what makes a bullet journal very good for helping you see what you are doing to get to that point. Here is another way that you can also set up a bullet journal for goal setting. You can make different boxes of what you're working on in each area, because there's multiple areas to our lives. So, what do I want to work on to improve my blog? Financially, what am I going to focus on this month? Personally, professionally, my health, my relationships. What are my goals for that? And you can just put them in boxes, and this can be them for the month of June. This is what I'm going to work on. And it doesn't take very long, and you can set it up and personalize it just for you. And I think that's really what makes it neat. I do like these pens. Let me see if I can show you this pen. I think they work really. I have a thing for pens. So let's see. This is just a Papermate, and it is the Flair. And it has a really nice tip on the end. Let's see if you can see it. But it is a marker, but you can write nicely with it in color. And then I also like these. Let me show you these too. I don't even know what kind these are. Oh, there we go. Pilot. And they're just regular ink pens, but they are in color. And so you can just write, but it does help make it stand out. So, these are something that you can pick up. You can put washi tape in here. You can do the stickers that I had talked about before, and you could build your own journal. So if you don't want to start off right away with something that you think, I don't even know where I'm going to go, just start with a blank piece of paper and then decide what's best for you. And then you will know whether or not, once you know what you want to do and you've decided it's for you, then you can take a look at what you're doing every day to get there. And I think that once you've decided that, you look and see whether or not you're taking action, then it's great to know that you can start over. If yesterday wasn't working, or last month you didn't really work on your goals, then try it differently today. And this is a great way for you to actually take a look at what you're doing. So, like I said, take the time to figure out what you want. Use whatever journal works for you. This is just the third one that I showed you. Everybody has something different that will work. And the most important thing is, once you've decided on what you want, then make your action fit your goal. I hope you have a great night. I will post more information about what I showed you in my blog, so you can check that out later. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great night.